Wait, hold on a second. Before you throw that banana peel into the trash or rinse those coffee grounds down the sink, you need to hear this. Because right now, this very moment, you might be tossing away something that could literally change your garden forever. I'm talking about free garden gold. Nutrients, minerals, natural plant food that's already sitting in your kitchen, and most of us are just bagging it up and paying someone else to haul it away. Crazy, right? Here's the wild part. While we're throwing away all this natural goodness, stores are making millions selling us the exact same thing in fancy bags with labels like all-natural fertilizer or premium compost. But guess what? Those bags? They're literally made out of the same stuff you already have for free. So every time you toss scraps, you're not just wasting food, you're basically handing your money over to the garden center. Picture this for a second. You walk into your backyard, or even your little balcony garden, and you see plants exploding with green leaves, tomatoes the size of your fist, flowers so bright they look photoshopped. And the secret behind all of it? Not expensive plant food, not some magic chemical, just the leftovers from your breakfast. That's the power you've been throwing in the trash without even realizing it. And look, I get it. We've all been trained to think garbage is garbage. Peel a banana, throw away the peel, crack an egg, toss the shell, finish your morning coffee, dump the grounds, it's automatic. But what if I told you that every single one of those scraps is actually packed with nutrients that your plants are begging for? Because they are. And instead of letting them rot in some landfill, you could be using them to make your plants healthier, your soil richer, and your harvest way bigger, all for $0. Now, maybe you're already skeptical. You're probably asking, okay, but how? Won't it stink? Won't it attract bugs? Isn't this one of those things that sounds good on TikTok but falls apart in real life? Fair questions. That's exactly why we're breaking this down step by step in this video. I'm going to show you what you're actually throwing away, how to turn it into powerful plant food, the biggest mistakes to avoid, and a few pro tips that will seriously make your garden look next level. And here's the kicker. You don't need a backyard. You don't need a giant compost pile. You don't even need to be some hardcore gardener. If you've got one plant sitting in a pot by your window, this works for you. If you've got a balcony, a patio, or a few raised beds, this works for you. If you've got a whole yard, this will blow your mind. So, stick with me for the next few minutes, because by the end of this video, you'll never look at your kitchen scraps the same way again. You'll see them for what they really are: free, unlimited, garden gold. And once you start using it, your plants will thank you in ways you won't believe. Alright, let's talk about the everyday stuff that's sliding off your plate into the trash and straight out of your life. Stuff that could actually be the difference between a struggling plant and one that thrives like it's on steroids. I'm gonna break it down, because once you realize what's in your kitchen right now, you're going to start seeing food scraps in a whole new way. Let's kick it off with coffee grounds. If you drink coffee in the morning, then congratulations. You're sitting on a gold mine. Those wet little clumps you scoop out of your coffee maker, they're loaded with nitrogen. Plants need nitrogen like we need oxygen. It's what makes them lush, leafy, and green. Skip the fancy nitrogen fertilizer at the store. You've literally brewed it for free while making your morning latte. And guess what? Coffee grounds also help improve soil texture, making it softer and easier for roots to spread out. You think that stuff belongs in the trash? No way. Next up, banana peels. Everyone loves bananas, right? They're healthy for you. And guess what? They're healthy for your plants too. The peel is like a multivitamin for soil. It's packed with potassium, magnesium, and calcium, nutrients that strengthen plant stems, boost flower production, and help fruit ripen perfectly. Every time you throw away a banana peel, it's like tossing a mini bag of fertilizer right into the garbage. And bananas are one of the most common fruits people eat. That means every week, tons of free fertilizer is heading to the landfill. Then we've got eggshells. This one is insane because they're almost pure calcium carbonate. Calcium is critical for preventing plant diseases like blossom end rot. You know that nasty black spot that ruins tomatoes and peppers? That's a calcium deficiency. And you've got the cure in your kitchen every time you fry or boil an egg. Most people just toss the shells like they're useless. But crush them up, sprinkle them into the soil, and you're giving your plants a long-term calcium boost for free. Let's move to vegetable scraps. Carrot tops, onion skins, wilted lettuce, zucchini ends, you name it. When they're tossed in a landfill, they rot in a way that releases methane, which is bad for the planet. But when you use them in your garden, they break down naturally into compost that adds valuable trace minerals to your soil. Think of it as a buffet for your plants, one that's totally free and constantly replenished. And here's one people always forget: tea bags. After you're done sipping your chamomile or green tea, that little bag is a bundle of organic matter. Just be sure it's a paper-based bag and not one of those sneaky plastic ones some brands use. Tear it open, sprinkle the leaves into your soil, and your plants get an instant organic matter boost. So let's recap. Coffee grounds, banana peels, eggshells, veggie scraps, and tea bags. And we're not done. You can add apple cores, potato peels, even stale bread to the list. If it came from the earth, it can go back to the earth. That's the golden rule. And before you panic about smell, relax. Yes, it rots, but rot is not bad. Rot is nature's recycling system. It's how forests have fed themselves for millions of years without Home Depot showing up with a bag of plant food. The difference is that when scraps rot in a landfill, they're wasted. When they rot in your soil, they transform into rich nutrients your plants will gobble up. Once you realize you've been tossing all of this away, it feels like you've been throwing money straight in the trash. But now you know. And in the next part, I'm going to show you exactly how to use this treasure without turning your home into a stinky science experiment. Okay, so now you know what you're throwing away, but the big question is, how do you actually use it? Because let's be honest, nobody wants a pile of rotting banana peels sitting on their kitchen counter. The secret is to use smart, simple methods that fit into your lifestyle, so you can turn scraps into instant garden fuel without the mess, without the stink, and without wasting time. Let's break down the easiest ways you can start today. First up, the direct application method. This is the no excuse, simplest way. Got a banana peel? Chop it up into little pieces and bury it an inch or two under the soil right next to your plant. Done. Coffee grounds? After your morning brew, sprinkle a thin layer around the base of your plants or mix them lightly into the topsoil. Eggshells? Crush them with a rolling pin until they're almost powdery and scatter them around your plants. That's it. No special bins, no waiting. Your scraps break down right there in the soil and start feeding your plants immediately. But maybe you're not ready to deal with scraps right away. That's where the freezer stash method comes in. Instead of letting things sit around and smell, keep a container or bag in your freezer. Toss all your veggie scraps, banana peels, and coffee grounds in there. They'll freeze solid, won't stink, and when the bag is full, you can dump it straight into a compost pile, a worm bin, or even bury it in your yard. Bonus, freezing actually helps break down the cell walls of the scraps, so they decompose faster once they're in the soil. Now here's my personal favorite, the blender compost method. It's genius. Throw your banana peels, coffee grounds, veggie scraps, basically your frozen stash, into a blender. Add a little water, and blend it up into a nutrient-packed smoothie. But don't drink it. This one's for your plants. Pour that mixture right into your soil, and it starts working almost instantly because it's already broken down. Think of it as fast food for your plants, but the healthy kind. If you're ready to level up, there's the classic compost pile or bin. This is what most people think of when they hear composting. You just alternate layers of greens, like food scraps, coffee grounds, and fresh leaves, with browns, like dry leaves, shredded cardboard, or paper. Keep it a little moist, turn it now and then, and nature does the rest. After a few weeks or months, you end up with rich, dark compost that smells like fresh earth. That compost is like jet fuel for your garden. It adds nutrients, improves soil texture, and even boosts beneficial microbes. And if you don't have outdoor space, no problem. You can use a small indoor compost bin designed to sit under your sink or go with vermicomposting. That's just a fancy word for worm composting. Worms eat your scraps and turn them into worm castings, which gardeners literally call black gold. It's one of the best fertilizers on the planet, and it all comes from the scraps you were going to throw away. The best part? None of this has to smell bad. None of it has to attract pests, and none of it has to be complicated. Done right, it's clean, simple, and it saves you money while making your plants grow like crazy. So whether you're blending, burying, freezing, or composting, you now have the tools to turn trash into treasure. And in the next part, I'm going to show you the biggest mistakes people make and how you can avoid them, plus a few pro tips to take your garden game from pretty good to mind-blowing. Alright, you've got the tools, you know the scraps, and you're probably fired up to start turning your kitchen trash into free plant fuel. But hold up, before you dive in, let's talk about the biggest mistakes beginners make and how to dodge them like a pro. Because nothing kills your motivation faster than a stinky mess, sick plants, or an experiment gone wrong. I've got you covered. Mistake number 1, going overboard. Coffee grounds, for example, are amazing. They add nitrogen, improve soil texture, and even help with drainage, but too much of a good thing can actually harm your plants. Dumping a giant pile of coffee grounds straight onto the soil can make it too acidic and even block water from getting in. The fix? Light layers. Think of it like seasoning food. You wouldn't pour an entire salt shaker on your dinner, right? Same rule here. Mistake number 2, tossing in the wrong scraps. Meat, dairy, and oily foods don't belong in your compost or your plant smoothie. They take forever to break down, they smell terrible, and worst of all, they attract pests like raccoons, rats, and flies. Stick to plant-based scraps: fruits, veggies, coffee, tea, eggshells. If it once grew in the ground, it can go back into the ground. Keep it simple. Mistake number 3, using scraps whole. Picture this. You bury a full banana peel under your tomato plant, and months later, you dig it up only to find it's still basically a banana peel. Why? Because big chunks take a long time to decompose. The solution? Chop, crush, or blend. Smaller pieces break down way faster, which means your plants get the nutrients sooner. Mistake number 4, ignoring balance. If you're composting, you need both greens and browns. Greens are your food scraps, moist, nitrogen-rich. Browns are dry stuff like leaves, shredded cardboard, or newspaper. Too many greens and your compost goes slimy and smelly. Too many browns and it dries out and stalls. The trick is balance. Aim for roughly equal parts, and your compost will cook itself into perfection. Now let's flip to the fun part. The pro tips that will take your garden game from average to jaw-dropping. Pro tip 1, worms are your best friends. Vermicomposting might sound intimidating, but it's just worms doing the work for you. Feed them your scraps, and they'll turn it into worm castings. Probably the most powerful natural fertilizer you'll ever get your hands on. Gardeners call it black gold for a reason. Even a small worm bin can create enough castings to keep your houseplants and garden thriving year-round. Pro tip 2, banana peel tea. Want a liquid fertilizer your plants will love? Chop up a few banana peels, stick them in a jar of water, let it sit for a couple of days, then water your plants with it. It's like giving them an energy drink, full of potassium and magnesium for stronger blooms and healthier growth. Pro tip 3, rice water magic. The next time you rinse rice before cooking, don't pour the water down the drain. Plants absolutely love rice water. It's like a mild, natural fertilizer that gives them a gentle nutrient boost. Simple, free, effective. Pro tip 4, consistency beats intensity. You don't need to do everything at once. Start small. Maybe save just your coffee grounds this week. Next week, add banana peels. Over time, your soil builds up more and more nutrients and the results stack up. Healthy soil equals healthy plants, and healthy plants equal bigger harvests, brighter flowers, and less stress for you. Here's the bottom line. The scraps you've been tossing aren't garbage. They're gold. Avoid the rookie mistakes, use the pro tips, and you'll be amazed at how much your plants transform. Once you see the results, bigger leaves, juicier tomatoes, stronger flowers, you'll never go back to throwing this stuff away again. You'll look at your kitchen trash and think, free garden treasure. So the next time you finish breakfast, before you walk to the trash can, remember this. You're holding pure, natural, free fertilizer in your hand. Use it and watch your garden thank you.